It's New Year's Day 2009, and once again the streets of England's ancient capital Winchester are ruled by King Alfred, or at least by the buses that bear his name and carry his image. For more than half a century, Robert Chisnell's privately owned bus company had provided services for the citizens of Winchester and its neighbouring villages. But on the 28th of April 1973, the last bus ran. But the memory of King Alfred lives on. For in 1985 the Friends of King Alfred Buses was formed, and over the years they bought and restored some of the fleet, and every year on the 1st of January they hold a running day, when the buses operate some of the former routes in and around the city. There are always plenty of people eager to take advantage of the free rides. Tickets are issued, but just as souvenirs of the day. Preserved buses from other local companies join in the day and help to create the atmosphere and scenes of yesteryear. The starting point and terminus for King Alfred buses was the Broadway, a very wide thoroughfare overlooked by King Alfred's famous statue. After dropping passengers off, buses would have to swing round to the pick-up point opposite. For some buses, this meant a 3-point turn. The Broadway was always a very busy place, with buses regularly coming and going. Here's a 1959 Leyland Tiger Cub coming for a new load of passengers. It's the only survivor of 9 in the original King Alfred fleet. And squeezing in behind, one of 3 Leyland Panthers that the company owned, originally purchased in 1970 for just over £7,000. Off goes the Tiger to Stanmore, one of the housing estates of the city, well served by King Alfred buses in its time. All of the manoeuvres are of course supervised by the King himself. And here she is later in the day, this time en route for the village of Sparshot, a trip of about 25 minutes. Back at the Broadway, the Panther sets off for Crawley, another village near to Winchester. She'll be back in about 45 minutes. The most venerable member of the fleet is Dennis 6. Originally acquired in 1931, the bus was eventually sold in 1947. Since then it's appeared on television on a number of occasions, most notably in All Creatures Great and Small and Songs of Praise when it was broadcast from Winchester. As well as buses, the Chisnell family purchased a number of coaches which were used for excursions and private hire. This Bedford is drawing into the Broadway to pick up passengers for a tour of the city. This slightly larger coach, notice 2 wheels at the front, is taking its passengers on a trip to Alfred. That'll take about 20 minutes. The Friends of King Alfred who man the buses are all volunteers, and the courier on the coach has a number of duties, including selling souvenirs and directing traffic. The turnaround point at Alfred is quite tight, and care must be taken. All aboard please for the return trip. There's a tight timetable to run. But there's still time for a cheerful word with the courier. and the driver's got something to share with us as well. A quick brush up to wipe off the worst of the winter grime, and we're off again. Back at the Broadway, there's still plenty of action, with buses arriving and departing throughout the day. Services begin just before 9 o'clock and go on until after 5 in the afternoon. There are still plenty of passengers waiting for those free trips. If this bus seems familiar, it's because it's the second of the 2 Leyland Panthers that are owned by the Friends of King Alfred. Later in the day, she's off for a trip to Sutton, Scotland. We won't see her again for an hour. Winchester's City Road is always very busy because most bus routes travel along it. Here's the King Alfred bus, which is being overtaken by a visiting coach on its way back to the Broadway. The crew of the King Alfred bus take a moment to change the destination indicator, ready for their next journey. For King Alfred buses, all roads lead to the Broadway. And as they return and the passengers alight for the last time, the Friends of King Alfred buses can look back and reflect with pleasure on another hugely popular and successful running day.